My name is Trisha Perez Keneally. My family moved to Lexington when I was 12, and it was really a great place to be a kid. I was able to walk downtown by myself with friends, to go to the library. When my husband and I were trying to figure out where we wanted to raise our family, it was really easy for us to choose Lexington because many of the same reasons that my parents decided to come here still exist today.
Hi, Rupam Banerjee. I'm the president and CEO here at Raynetz Technologies. I'm not only the leader of a local business here, we're roughly about 100 people, but I also grew up here in town in Lexington. But when I left Lexington 20 years ago, it was an old suburb, and there really wasn't as much vibrance to the town. And over the last 10 years, there's been an incredible rejuvenation of young couples, families, young kids, new businesses, new opportunities for people in town. Honestly, in many ways, we never thought we'd come back here, but we did, primarily because of all those factors.
We're so close to many of the world-class universities in Boston that it really is a great place for people who are coming to spend a period of time here, whether it be doing research or doing work. Lexington is a great place for them to come with their families. We have a great school system, we have a really vibrant community, and we're really lucky that so many of those people choose to make Lexington their home while they're here because they contribute so richly to the fabric of our community.
Institutes that there are in the Boston area. So when you think about institutes like Harvard, MIT, the Mass General Hospital, the different Longwood medical properties, there are actually some phenomenal customers and wealth of information and scientific insights coming out of these just intellectual powerhouses that are making a real difference in human health care. And to put ourselves right in the middle of that hotbed of change was absolutely advantageous for the company. And most importantly, it's allowed us to bring on great people from not just the Boston area, but really from all over the world to be part of a special place here at Raynetz. Lexington all starts with a town center. For those who haven't been to the town center, it is one of the most beautiful parts of any community or suburb you will see in the greater Boston area. The businesses are not larger than the town center. The town center has retained a certain traditional vibe, a certain heritage, and a way of drawing people in, whether it's restaurants, books, galleries, library, or just large open grassy areas like the Green or Depot Square. And all of these have a way of just binding a community together. For my family specifically, what it's meant, we're always in town. It's very easy to see people. There's a greater sense of community, people you recognize, people who know your name, and especially with so many young families who've come into Lexington in the last 10 years, as well as the broader professional and academic folks who live in the area. It's a very, very intellectual but also accessible community with a lot of young kids, and it makes just for a great, safe community in which to play and grow.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, gorgeous. How you doing?
I'm well. Lexington's one of these beautiful towns.
I was going to say that's what we should
see
use.
our
Stuff
friends
like
walking down the street and say hello. There's so many things for families to do here in Lexington, whether it's swimming at the town pool, going to play golf at the town's golf course. We have a beautiful recreation center that offers a variety of classes for kids. People learn, so many kids in Lexington have learned to ice skate at Hayden. If you want to go walking, there's beautiful conservation trails that are maintained by many volunteers throughout the town. There's something for everybody. As an avid biker, I love the bike path that runs through Lexington. It's sort of right in the middle of a bike path that runs from Cambridge all the way out to Bedford. But what's great is that many people come from surrounding communities. They love being able to come in on the bike path, stop and have a cup of coffee, ride their bike to Wilson Farms and buy some fruit, buy some food. It really is a beautiful way for people to see Lexington in a different way. Instead of from their car or from a bus, they can come on their bikes and see Lexington the way we here in Lexington are able to see it when we're on foot or on our bikes.
So the bike path is very special for me and my family. My father was the chief engineer for the Lexington bike path and was the one who sanctioned it for the state back in the late 80s, early 90s. And as his son, I was privileged to be the first one to ride on the bike path when it was first opened. The bike path is a special town landmark because it really connects a lot of communities. It's a very safe way to bring families together, give them a great, healthy outlet for exercise, and most importantly for us at Raynetz, it allows many of our employees who live in Arlington, Somerville, Cambridge, and other towns around surrounding Boston an easy and healthy way of getting into work.
As you can imagine, a town with Lexington history is a town that's rich in tradition. We have a lot of different events that go on an annual basis, whether it's the East Village Fair, Discovery Day, the July 4th Carnival. During the summer, we have concerts on Tuesday and Thursday nights near the gazebo. We also have concerts here in the center of town on Friday nights. We take pride in these traditions, and it's things that you see several generations of families taking part in these traditions together.
Raindance decided to set up in Lexington because we're within 15 miles of downtown Boston, within 10 miles of some of the leading cancer institutes, scientific institutes in the entire world. And also when you look at the 128, 93, 495 Beltway, Lexington's a very special place, sitting in the middle of all three of those, and makes for a great commute for anybody in the Boston area, especially who wants access to some of these leading scientific centers.
One of the most convenient things about Lexington is its accessibility. Whether it's accessibility within the town, you're able to get around by bike, walking, taking the Lexpress, or even getting into Boston. It's very easy to get into town. Many people commute by going on the MBTA bus. It's a short ride from here to where you can access the train to go into Boston. And that's one of the things that people find so convenient about living in Lexington. Sometimes when you live in a place that's so historic, it's easy to take for granted the place that our community has. One of my favorite days of the year is Patriots Day. My family gets up at the crack of dawn. We walk down to the Lexington Green to watch the battle be reenacted. I love standing there on the green with my children, and you turn to the person on your left and you find out that, you know what, they've actually come from Europe to experience this moment. We are so lucky to live in a place that's so rich in history, and we love being able to share it with people. And it's a great opportunity for us to showcase what our history is all about when people come and they share and they experience that reenactment for the first time. Sometimes when you're walking through Lexington, that is so quintessentially New England, a community that's so steeped in American history, it's easy to forget that we actually really have a strong link to the future. Lexingtonians have always prided themselves on being entrepreneurial, and this community has always been receptive to new ideas. That's why it should come as no surprise that we have many companies that have chosen Lexington as their headquarters. Whether it's a biotech firm, a high-tech firm, Lexington is a great community for these companies to choose as their headquarters.
Lexington's been a fantastic place for innovative companies to set up, especially as business growth has thrived and expanded over the last 10 years. We've seen companies like Shire Pharmaceuticals, ourselves here at Raindance, as well as companies outside of life sciences all move to the Lexington community over the last 10 years. So we're not just a great, safe, well-educated community, but it's also a great place to do business and to have our employees not only contribute to the company, but also be active members of the community.
We're very proud of our school system. We're obviously proud of the way our students perform on standardized tests, but that's only a fraction of what the Lexington schools do. They consistently rank as some of the top schools in the state, if not the country. But what's more important is the things that you can't necessarily see in a statistic. It's about the performing arts. It's about the debate team. It's about the way our teachers and students constantly challenge themselves to learn new things and push the boundaries in education. We're really proud that there's an environment that really fosters curiosity. And that's supported by a vibrant parent community that's very involved in our schools.